Con. Here we go. Crucial Con. How you doing, Fiends and Sworn Nation? Jimmy Coffin for Coffin Comics. We got a big announcement here coming up. So Crucial Con, we've got a lot of we're releasing. Super excited. Okay, Crucial Con. This is it. This is the one we're waiting for. We got Brian Webster, art director from Premium Collectible Studios, and you know what? I'm gonna let him make this announcement because it's big. It's big. Here we go. Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having us on, Jimmy. Appreciate it. Appreciate you allowing us to share this information with you all.
So first of all, before we well, no, let's just do it. Go ahead and
okay.
Let everyone know what's going on. What's the partnership here going with?
Well, I don't know if your followers have seen our last big 1/3 reveal, which was our Vampirella statue that we just solicited at Sideshow. This is our follow-up of that statue, which is a 1/3 Lady Death statue. So a pretty big statue, fully sculpted, yes. Looking pretty good.
Wow. Yeah. So you're saying, okay, for people who don't know, I might be one of them. What does the 1/3, what does that mean for, what's that in reference?
It's a scale reference. So like we have 1/3 scales, quarter scales, and stuff like that. It's just a determination of scale. So equivalent of like a 6 foot tall person would be around 24 inches tall, shrunken down to a 1/3 scale. I don't know if you could hear that, but that loud sound was them actually working on Lady Death right now for the upcoming show.
Okay, so the scale is based off of the actual height of a person. Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right. So this is 1/3 Lady Death scale. So, all right, folks. Right now we're gonna show off some of the previews here of the work in progress. Here we go.
Yes.
Look at that. Wow. So this is a 3D rendering. Is this the final?
This is not the final. I mean, it's pretty close to the final. Usually what we do is after we do the 3D model, we'll print it out. We'll assess the tools, the print as a team. And then we'll be like, this could use a little finessing. This can use a little touch up, because you don't really capture that detailing looking at a digital image. You know, you can zoom in and stuff like that, but when you get it in your hand and it's, you know, a sizable piece you're looking at and you're like, we can tweak that out. We can make that a little bit better, because we know when the collectors get it, they're going to be looking over those details and scrutinizing the piece, you know, because it is an investment. So we want to make sure their investment is worth it.
And here's another image of that. So this is, so right now, you're saying there's no official name for it right now. We're just calling it the Lady Death.
We're just calling it Lady Death 1/3 statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of sums it all up.
It
now,
does.
Is this based off of a particular artist or art, a cover?
It's sort of taken a lot of the inspiration from the original Brian run with back in PCS Comics, the original simplified outfit and stuff like that. We got a couple nods to like the sword that we updated from sadly the late Steven from his cover art. Actually, which is this. I don't know if you can see it. Where's my camera? So you can see how big just the sword in my hand is. You know, I got it zoomed in, but that's your source of, and compared to the picture, you can see how big this piece is going to be. Yeah,
gosh,
so that's
awesome.
Taken from his design and stuff like that. Then for the hair, I looked at a bunch of comic book reference, pretty much what I saw, what I liked, and you know, took the hair from, I think his name was Rules from the soft cover editions or something like that. But yeah, just inspired from the original stuff and what Brian put together and stuff. Then we added the nods to the dogs on the side of the hellhounds on the side of the base and stuff.
Yeah, the nameless wolves.
Yeah.
Raw Side is saying it's beautiful piece. Lee Johnson, awesome details. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and those details actually, when I was mentioning earlier about evaluating the print in hand, Like we went back and our team was like, oh, that texture's looking pretty nice because we wanted to give a really nice leathery texture to her stockings and her brassiere and her outfit and stuff like that. So they went in there, and that's what they've been doing the last 3 days, just etching in, scribing in all that little leather wrinkles and detailing in there, stuff you can't really capture sometimes in a 3D print.
I'm so happy you held up that sword. That really gives you a real good visual of what the size of that. Wow.
Yeah, and as a little tease, we're actually considering throwing in the original sword, the early Chaos Comics version sword, as a sort of like an extra piece for fun.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's usually seen like this in the comic. Like that.
And that's darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
damn.
so when the collectors buy this, they have the choice of picking, the sword they want to put in their hand, and it slides right in, slides right out. They can choose one sword one day and change it out for the other sword the next day.
Okay, so all right, so it's going to be no cloth on here. It's going to be clothing.
No. When something like this big, if you're not doing like a mixed media piece, I find
Mhm.
like doing a cloth cape is almost a distraction to the value and the collectability of this piece. When you get you get a whole nice statue, and then you get the cloth cape, it almost distracts you sometimes. No matter how beautifully the cloth rendition is, you just want that picturesque, perfect flow of the cape always to be there. And with sculpting it, you can really nail that down.
So here's some examples of what you guys are currently doing. You've got this one's got my attention, the Michael
Yeah,
Myers. So I asked about cloth because it looks like that one looked like it was cloth.
it is. It is, and
Jumpsuit.
that's our quarter scale one. That was fun. A lot of that was done in house. Yeah, we had fun sculpting that and creating that base, especially doing the plaques around it, capturing the scenes from the movies, from the original movie. And yeah,
Here's the
uh,
Macho Man one you guys did. Oh man, the
yeah,
details just is that a real person or is that
it looks pretty
yeah,
real, especially when you
yeah.
look at it really closely. You see all the skin texturing and stuff like that. He came out really well.
And here's Snake Plissken. Holy cow.
Yeah, that was a
Awesome.
fun. That was a passion project. That was fun to do.
And that was also because he has real cloth clothing, it looks like on that one.
Oh yeah, we spent forever getting that pattern right because I mean I was telling the guys we got to get the pants pattern right. It's never been properly reproduced as a toy, as a statue, or anything. So we're actually very proud of the pattern that was achieved on those pants.
Attention to detail. Wow.
Yeah.
And this, the pumpkin head
Oh
one.
yeah, that was
Oh,
fun.
talk about details on that. So I just can't wait to seeing these ones you've previously done and what you're going to bring to the Lady Death statue. Holy cow.
Yeah, that additional paint, the final stage of paint, really brings these statues to life. No matter how cool this render looks, once it's fully colored, fully painted, it really captures out. Especially because you look at the base, it's all gray and stuff like that. But we took a lot of inspiration from the original comics, how they had those intricate border patterns around some of the comic book covers, and we implemented that into the base. So yeah, when we break down the actual colors on this, it's going to really make those areas pop.
Oh yeah, time of dying. Yeah, the problem with cloth is that stitching is never to scale. Never
Yep.
thought about that. Very
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, there's always a disconnect, I feel, when it comes to that.
Eamon saying it came out great. Yep, people are loving it. Yeah, so Wayne, looking forward to seeing all this done up. Such great works coming from you guys. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the full reveal for the full painted version will happen at San Diego's con early October.
Okay, yeah. Con October. Ooh, okay. Gotta keep an
Yeah.
eye on that. So I just wanted to show. Let's see, what did I do with that video? You also sent me a video here
Yes,
of the 360. So let's take a look at this. I'm not sure we can hear us talking over it, so we'll just let it play
that's
and
fine.
then comment. Wow.
So yeah, that sword is this big in that little video. So it's very sizable. And yeah, looking at that piece, it looks pretty good. But like talking about the details on that, like we're totally redoing her hair. I mean, I like the overall mass and the size of it, but it looks. And when you get it in hand, you notice how flat it looks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we're going back in there and reapproaching that. So when we solicit it later in the month, you'll see the new updated hair and how more alive it looks, more 3D, more depth to it, more flow to it. It's a good clump, but right now it's just too solid.
So here's a you guys use an apple on this one you did. This is a 1/3
Yes.
scale as well, so you can kind of get an idea of what's coming. But she's not as wide as that lady.
She's also the same scale. The base on Lady Death is definitely much bigger, definitely much wider and stuff like that. But she's also one third statue, and the costuming on her leotard on top, her leggings, that's all mixed media. That's all fabric.
And is there an SRP on this yet, or is that to be determined?
That's to be determined. We'll probably figure that out as we get closer to solicitations later in October. Right now, usually we find out those estimates after the piece is complete. Because right now, I go to the next room. Dennis who's painting it. I'm just like, a little more green here, a little more blue there, a little more of that. So once we figure that, work through those details,
yeah,
then we'll be able to quote it out and figure out the costs on this.
Makes sense. And then so pre-orders, do you have a date on when pre-orders will start?
Right now we do not. We're still working that. We're estimating end of October.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking like next year. So, but it's
going to be pre-orders definitely. We're pushing for October. The exact date, we're still working through that.
Okay. All right. Ooh.
Yeah, it comes fast.
And then so the process. So what we're looking at here. So 3D rendering. So you guys do a 3D printer when you print it out, and then, or is it sculpted? Does someone sculpt it off of the?
Mark was he primarily sculpted this thing. A couple sculptors were also work on this, but Mark was the big guy who sculpted the majority of this and did really good on it. Then we bring it to our in-house sculpt team. We do some finessing, make sure the size. Like originally when we did this, she was like probably half the size on that base. So when we were doing the measurements, we're like, that base would be like 40 inches long. No, like you couldn't even fit that through the front door almost. So we'll take it, we'll bring it in-house, do some sculptural work in-house, print it, do additional touch-ups as we take a look at it, and then yeah, and there it is.
Yeah, it looks like we did answer some of these questions here. Say what's the price estimate? We'll find out once
we'll find out in the next couple of weeks. Probably late October we'll have an estimate.
And then the 1/4 scale. Yep. Oh no, it's 1/3 scale.
Yeah.
Not the 1/4.
It's big. It goes with our Vampirella statue that we just did.
David's asking, any plans for Lady F's statue on horse?
If enough of these sales, there's always possibility to do more.
Time of dying. Half the price is going to go to that base. That is a huge base.
It is.
Oh yeah, the Hellhounds. Yep, people they're grooving on this statue. That's amazing.
Yeah, originally we had the Hellhounds actually walking down the stairs, but to do that, they would have been. Her Hellhounds are much bigger than they are represented here. At least that's what I got from looking over the comic, reading the comics and stuff. So we originally had them walking down there as the initial idea, but then after assessing the estimated costs and the actual production on it, we actually made them as part of the stairs, almost like a nod to the hounds instead of the actual physical hounds. That's why they're more perched on those pillars instead of, lingering or lunging or forward. But yeah, they got their spiky collars and everything.
So is it going to be one piece, or is it going to be the sword is removable, but other parts are they?
Yes, the sword is removable. The other parts that probably are removable are the head. when we ship these stuffs, we break it down so it's as much as a full statue as the consumer can get with minimal assembly. Because when you get these statues, you want to be like, cool, that's my piece out of the box. You don't want to sit there. It's not a model kit, you know.
Right.
So the only separation that we really do is just worrying about transit and possible breakage issues.
Right.
You know.
Right. So in the box, how is this going to be packaged in the box? Is it going to have like, is it the foam or is it the like the styrofoam?
It's
Packaging
usually molded foam. We'll have our embossed logo and the usual stuff. Way too early to talk about designs on the box, just because we start thinking that like after we're halfway through production, seeing how production goes. Usually we base the box sort of styling off of the solicitation pictures and the pre-order pictures, and sort of use that sort of to gauge where we're going to go with the style of this box. But even with this one in Vamp, it's sort of a new line for us in this. So we've just started to figure out designs. Do we want to go with something more artistic, like a black box with just lettering on it, giant logo, or grab something from the comics as an inspirational piece, or a full like 3D, render painting of it? We haven't decided. This is a new property for us, so we're very excited how we're going to figure out how to market this.
Wow, we're going to see the birth of the statue. It's amazing. So right now,
Yes.
where you're at, you're currently painting. So you're pretty much done with that. So there is a actual model.
Yes,
Obviously, because you have one.
It's next door, actually.
So you have that.
It's all in pieces though right now.
You get the final. You're gonna do the full reveal of the color for San Diego, and then so how does it? So do you work with Brian to get a lot of approval on everything, or is it just like a basic approval, or how does that work? How much approval does he have in the process?
I am not part of the licensing team. I can tell you how I work. Usually we start off with an initial concept that we run through Brian and everybody at the licensors. They give their approval on it. When we get to concepts, it's like, that's something we can work with. That's something we can make happen. It might not be like I was telling you earlier. The actual concept changes as we start to develop it, sizing everything out, playing with the actual form. Because no matter how great a 2D representation of what could be is, it never works as a 3D, because you have a chance to look at the statue from 360, So what we had there on a flat 2D didn't assume what was going on the backside, what was going on the side, and stuff like that. And then we basically run it through initial steps. He gives us what he wants to do with the costuming, what accessories and stuff like that. And then we go from there. And then we submit our initial rough of a sculpt. They come back. They pointed out we forgot. He pointed out we forgot little spikes on the wolves, on the hounds and stuff like that. So it's definitely had comments on the base and stuff. Originally, I had little crosses on the base, which was I think a little too much for a scantily clad lady. Some of the team pointed it out. I was like, no, but it's cool, because Mark did such a wonderful job at rendering these little crosses that they're like this big on the base, but they look so beautifully and so elegant. And there's a couple comic covers from the Chaos run that had those crosses in there. I was like, wow, that's cool and stuff like that. But I was talked down, and we switched it to the coffin with the skull, sort of a nod to the current comics and stuff like that. And yeah, so they let us pretty much run wild. But if we go too far out of bounds, they'll point it out. They'll let us know, But trust in your talent, trust in your team, and you'll come out with something pretty cool.
Oh yeah, here's a good question from Leona. Is it cold cast or resin?
A little bit of the same. It's a resin piece.
Okay.
Cold cast porcelain.
There we go. Yeah, and Gary Compton, can't wait for more info when it comes out. Yeah, for sure. Chris is loving it. Awesome. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job. Yeah, we can't wait to see this progress and see. Hopefully, we can have you back on in the future as we get closer to the pre-release and as it.
Hopefully, if there's a lady death on a horse, we can come back and share that too. I love horses. I love doing sculptural horses. So who knows? That might be a possibility.
Yeah, she has Visago, a beautiful horse. That would be amazing to see.
And she has such awesome alternative. I mean, it was so hard to decide what costume to do because you have so many incarnations, so many variant covers of costumings of different colors, different styles. I mean, the comic artist did such a wonderful job interpreting in different styles and stuff like that. It was very difficult to narrow down just like the one iconic. You look at that, you go, that's Lady Death's costume. Hopefully, we have a chance to revisit and do another interpretation.
Oh, yeah, the possibilities are endless of what you guys could do.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, I know you're busy. We'll let you go. Thank you so much. And we're going to close this off. We're going to look at that 360 again one more time as we close it out. So, Brian, art director of Premium Collectible Studio, thank you for joining us. And looking forward to seeing more and more.
Thank you for allowing us to come and share this with you. We really appreciate the time.
Awesome.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, we're going to watch this one more time, and we're going to be heading out. See you.